Oh crap, my Discord's not right.
Oh no!
Crap, I didn't
Uh-oh.
Discord it right. Okay.
Oh no.
What's up? Sorry for that little error. Welcome to the They Fly Now show. I'm Hereth Productions. This is Car2D2, and
What's going
welcome to
on?
the very first episode of the podcast.
Yeah, everyone, welcome. Like you said, I'm Car2D2, and this is Hereth Productions. And thank you guys all for gathering. It really means a lot, and we can't wait to see what this podcast has in store for us.
Most definitely. So let's break into why we started this podcast and what's our reasons why and what's our goals for it.
So we are obviously two huge Star Wars fans whose main platform is TikTok, and we made this podcast so people and other creators on TikTok can have an outlet to talk about what they want to talk about, and we have some awesome creators that are going to be coming on the show.
Most definitely. And we have a lot of awesome creators already lined up, ready for the next 10 episodes, and I cannot wait to discuss these complex topics that me and Carter came up with.
Yeah, we have, the next 10. So this is kind of our introduction episode and telling us a little bit about me and Hereth and why we like Star Wars. But in the upcoming episodes, it's going to be insane. I mean, we have some amazing guests who are coming on. And what we did is we have these guests who are talking about what they want to talk about. So I think that's going to make it really special and a little bit different from other podcasts. Like you said, I'm Car2D2.
Sorry, I have a bit of an echo. I just noticed that.
Thank you guys all for.
Very good. Sorry, I had to open another tab. We're good. Okay.
You're good.
So, let's want to just break right into the rankings, or talk a little bit more.
Let's talk about why do we like Star Wars a lot? Hereth, you can go first. So what makes Star Wars special and why Star Wars?
Well, for me, obviously, like a lot of people, I grew up with Star Wars as a young kid. I was introduced to it at the age of 5, so of course, I always had it. And then for I was very active with Star Wars for like 5 years, and I kind of fell out of it in like around the age of 10 and 12. And then when I was 13, I remember the first teaser for The Force Awakens came out, and it reactivated my Star Wars love, and it's been carrying me ever since. So I just love the sense of like community that Star Wars also brings. Like I just there's no other fandom like it. There's just no type. I've noticed that type of community in other type of fandoms.
Yeah, I would definitely have to agree with you. Just the way that this community, at least most of the community, because obviously there's a bit of a community that might be a little bit more toxic than the other part, but I truly think that this part of the community that me and Hereth and most people watching here today are in is the best community out there, and I really truly believe that.
Definitely.
And yeah, and I'll talk about a little bit how I got into Star Wars. So just like Hereth, I've been a Star Wars fan my entire life since I really can't remember a time without Star Wars. I was probably 5 years old, and the first time I'm pretty sure I remember actually sitting down and watching the movies was, so my dad's a teacher, and he was having all his teacher friends over one day to watch all the Star Wars movies, and I believe we started at Phantom Menace, and then we were trying to watch through all of them.
Okay.
But then after Revenge of the Sith, and I saw Anakin, and remember, I'm like a 6-year-old kid.
Oh God! You're watching Anakin just get burned alive.
I'm watching Anakin just completely burn, and I'm this little kid who was Anakin's age. So remember, earlier in the day, I see Anakin at my age, and now I'm seeing him burn. And I just ran. I remember I ran upstairs and just started crying.
You're just like, fuck this, I'm out.
I was like, no. Are you kidding me? I was like, why am I watching this? But then I would say, yeah, then I eventually watched the rest of the movies, grew up playing Lego Star Wars. And then, yeah, just like Hereth, whenever, like, I had a few down years for sure. And then whenever Force Awakens came out, I was like, oh yeah, like this, let's get back into this. And
100%.
Shout out to Podswan Podcast.
Oh, of course.
Megan in the chat, my sister in the chat. Well, shout out and
Brian with the
Brian
beard in
with
the
the beard.
chair.
Thanks for joining. And yeah, guys, we're gonna be interactive with the chat, so comment
So
away.
so obviously me and Carter just explained our story about what got us into Star Wars and why we fell in love with it. So if you want to share your story about like how you got into Star Wars, it could be when like when you first introduced to it, or like like you getting back into it, like just any type of story about how that happened.
Yeah. And so before we get into our main segment of the video, which is going to be our rankings of our movies and shows, um, let's talk a little bit more about why we like Star Wars and why is it so special. Because we just talked about how we got into it. So, Hereth, if you want to start us off with why?
So it was funny. Before joining TikTok, I was a part of like those people that are like, "Oh, TikTok is cringe. It's this, it's that." I was like, I wasn't really into it, and on a whim, I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna join TikTok. Why not? So I joined it, like expecting just like just joke meme videos, and I was what I was expecting out of TikTok, and when I stumbled upon, I think it was a dude named Kev, and then it was J. Kevin Parker. Then I found Choco. Then I found the rest of the community after that. It I'd never seen that type of Star Wars fandom get that community that's just so positive and just so supportive. Honestly, there's no other Star Wars community that can like compare to Star Wars TikTok. Star Wars TikTok is just special. It's like lightning
Yeah.
in a bottle. It's like I can't explain it. It's just like joining Choco's Discord server, and yeah, it's the talking to people all the time about Star Wars. It's just that alone has just reignited my spark for me.
Yeah, and it's just I know before I joined Star Wars TikTok, it was I didn't know who to talk to about Star Wars. So I would, like my sister said in the chat, I like made her. I would make my girlfriend. I made my mom. I made them all just watch these videos, so I had someone to talk to about them. And once I found this sense of community, it was amazing. Just because it's crazy that these people are they're good people. They're like not like and this Star Wars TikTok community is not toxic at all. I
No,
mean, not at all, but obviously there's some bumps in the road.
for the most
But
part,
yeah, for sure.
we put them in their place pretty much, and then they don't kind of exist.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that's what's the amazing part is that we can all love Star Wars and have our own opinions about Star Wars because there's many people I know that have differing Star Wars opinions than me. But just because you like a movie less than I do, or you like different movies than me, doesn't mean that uh we we can't still be fans of the same thing.
No, yeah, definitely. To quote J. Kev and a lot of people is, I don't have a problem with people in their opinions. It's just how you phrase it. That's kind of where I kind of stand on that as a whole. Is like, how do you phrase it, and how much is that the issue,
Yeah, exactly.
and how you present
Because
yourself.
they're yeah, because obviously everyone has a different opinion, but you can't be mean about your opinion and like just because we differ doesn't mean you yell at me and call me a fake Star Wars fan or
Yeah.
no. I had someone comment on my video the other day that I because I was talking about Rey and Kylo's fight in The Force Awakens, and someone commented on my video, this guy is not passionate about Star Wars and he has only seen the sequel movies.
Okay.
I was like, what? I literally commented. I was like, man, like not passionate. First off, like the person's not even making videos. I'm here making videos. Like so much of my life is Star Wars, and
Yeah.
just obviously, I've not only seen the sequels. I just thought it was something that this community doesn't have, which is really awesome.
Yeah. It's awesome for the most part.
Also, shout out to Scholar in the chat. Thanks for coming. Ace Bronx, also thanks for coming. Yeah, we little crowd here. We love it.
I would like
So
to highlight Pod's one's comment about joining the Discord community and how Choco and Elements Discord public server has helped them a lot.
yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, since I've joined that server, my love for Star Wars has just skyrocketed because you learn more about it. You're talking with people that also love Star Wars. It's just awesome.
I wouldn't be into the books without that community.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, actually, definitely not. There's no way I'd be reading Star Wars books without people saying how good they are,
Yeah.
and we both are just starting into the books, in case people don't know. So we're both just starting to diverge into canon novels,
Yeah.
and man, I'm happy some people suggested some novels that we're reading.
Definitely.
So let's move into our first segment, or our main segment of the show, which will be our movie rankings.
All right. So
So
we're gonna go 11 to 6.
yep, yeah. So we're gonna do numbers 11 through 6. We're just gonna kind of briefly go over them, why we put them there, and then our top 5. We're gonna really go in depth with the movies, and I'm sure we're gonna have some differing opinions. And then we're later gonna talk about our show rankings and why we like different shows. So, if you would like to go for number 11, what was your bottom movie on the list?
Being very basic, I picked Attack of the Clones as my number 11.
Okay. Yeah, so mine was Phantom Menace, which I think might be a little bit surprising.
I picked Attack of the Clones mainly because, while I love like Phantom Menace, I can find more stuff I like. Like the third act, I love. From the Battle of Naboo going forward, I really like Phantom Menace.
Mhm.
With Attack of the Clones, I really can't find those. I think the Battle of Geonosis was interesting, but it was so short and sweet that it was just I wanted some more from it. I felt like there was more qualities in Phantom Menace than Attack of the Clones, so I just put that at 11 for me at
Yeah,
least.
yeah. The reason I put Phantom Menace, just like you said, so that like going from the Battle of Naboo on, I would say it's pretty good. Well, I mean, the Darth Maul fight is obviously amazing, but I don't know, just the plot before that. Like, who's the villain in Phantom Menace? Like,
Yeah,
who's the antagonist? I would say it's really uh just not there, and the plot to me is just really confusing, and I can't, I don't know. It's I used to love the movie.
yeah.
I'm not love, but it was definitely not last. But then in my last watch through, it definitely moved down.
It's funny. It used to be near the bottom of my list until I read
Hmm.
Master and Apprentice, and it shot up a little bit.
Okay.
So that book pushed made me appreciate the movie way more.
Yeah, which is something I'm reading soon. I'm getting it hopefully for my birthday.
Hey,
So maybe after I read that book, it will move up in my ranking.
most definitely.
So yeah, so number 10, you had
The Rise of Skywalker.
what? No.
Sorry.
Oh.
I told you before the episode. There's some things I knew that I was gonna ruffle your feathers on, and that was one
And
of them. Oh,
it's not like The Rise of Skywalker is my favorite, but second to last.
I'll go into details. What's your number 10? Where I start with mine.
Attack of the Clones. So
Okay.
okay, let's. Why?
Okay. So for
Oh yes,
me,
Scholar. The pod race is a great scene, by the
oh,
way.
Pod Race is amazing. Fan is. But for me, The Rise of Skywalker, it used to be at number 6 for the longest time. Until I read the novelization and I realized how many stuff they cut out of the film. I'm like, why did they cut that out? Why did they cut this out? Why did they remove this? Like Kylo Ren had a whole extended sequence on Mustafar where he at the
Yeah.
Webbish Bog, Hux talking
Yep.
about how he didn't trust Kylo Ren with General Pride. There was like a whole sequence that was there that was cut out, And for me, the pacing was just way too quick. Like it just there was no time to breathe in the film. It was just go 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 go. It was just like it just felt like the film was on like hyperspeed the entire time. Like I wanted some slower moments. I wanted some like there's a scene in the novelization where Ray talks to Maz Kanata before heading off for the quest, and like that scene is like it's like a good pacing scene. It like it breaks the film down and like just scenes like that. And so yeah, for me, there's just so many like I don't know how to say like the pacing is the number one thing I can't get over the movie. Is just I just wish it was 3 hours long. That's the number one thing.
Yes.
I wish there was 40 more minutes in the film just to flesh out the characters, slow it down. Let's talk about certain things. So yeah, that's the number one thing what I want. And after reading the novelization, it's just I realized how much was cut out, and it's just if there was an extended cut of Rise of Skywalker, it would shoot up a little bit more.
Yeah. My the reason I didn't put it there is just because I think it's just fun.
It's a fun
Like
Star Wars movie. Yeah, I'll definitely give that.
I do think they should have cut out one planet. I think they went through way too many planets and just not enough time. So yeah, I definitely the pacing is for sure an issue, but I don't know. I just personally really enjoy the film
Yeah,
because I remember the first time I watched it, I was like, wow. And then the end scene, that's like that whole sequence with Palpatine and Ben Solo. I mean, Ben's redemption arc in that movie is
10 out of 10. It's
awesome.
amazing.
It's awesome. And then that's what oh when he reaches behind, grabs the lightsaber, and then kicks the crap out of
Yeah,
all all of the Knights of Ren. Like that's awesome.
for
And then
me, the film starts getting good during Rey duel on the second Death Star. That's when I start really liking the movie. From that
yeah,
onward,
yeah. And then I do think they for sure could have done more if Carrie Fisher didn't pass.
100%.
Which do they get more into that in the novelization? Because I have not read.
Yes, that's one of the things that was one of the better parts because obviously they don't have to deal with acting in Carrie Fisher, so there's a lot more Carrie Fisher scenes
Okay.
like her giving her legacy to Poe and Rey. So there's more scenes like that and more extended sequences on Rey and Luke's training. Not Rey and Luke's training, Leia and Luke's training in the flashback.
Yeah.
There was a little bit more on that, stuff like that.
And then, of course, at the very end, Rey Skywalker.
The thing that triggered so many fanboys that I do not
The thing-
understand. I do not
The
understand
thing, the thing that didn't happen. Apparently, some people believe. which
it.
I mean, yeah, that's just something that gets me whenever people are like, "She's not a Skywalker." Like,
Same.
what?
It happened in the movie. Get over it.
Yeah.
Their thoughts.
Whether you like it or not, I think that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
But just to say that she's not a Skywalker, I just
It's frustrating.
it's frustrating. Yes.
Kiri put it
See anything
best.
else
Kiri put it best. Is the Rise of Skywalker is more of a speed run than a movie. I kind of
Yeah.
have to agree.
Yeah, I would agree with that for sure. Let's see. Yeah, Scholar, I for sure have fun watching it.
Definitely.
And so Clayton, that's one of my buddies. Yeah, I think they killed. I think the reason they killed off Kylo was for that arc to have closure.
Definitely. You can't. I really can't see a movie with Kylo living. The Resistance would just kill him on sight.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, because they're not going to. Kylo Ren walks up. Hey guys, I'm good now.
Hey, I'm good now. What's up, everybody? I have no problems.
And everyone who doesn't believe in the Force is like, no.
Everyone's like,
No.
no, get out of here.
Yeah, please leave.
Just GTFO.
Yeah, just leave, and then they'd probably have him killed, while losing a few of their soldiers trying to.
Yeah,
have him killed.
definitely.
All right, do you want to get into number 10?
You mean number 9?
Yeah, number 9.
Yeah. For number 9, I have
Alright.
the Phantom Menace.
Number 9, I have Solo.
Okay, that's actually interesting. I wonder why. Because for me, Solo is the fun Star Wars movie. It's the popcorn Star Wars movie. Like I want to turn on and have a good time.
Yeah, like you're sitting there folding laundry
Yeah,
or doing whatever, doing homework. I'm gonna throw on Solo if I'm gonna throw on a Star Wars movie for sure.
definitely.
But the reason I didn't have it higher was I just felt like it's just side, like, you know what I mean? It's not the main story, which is why I just felt like I couldn't put it any higher.
Yeah,
Just be it's not the fact that it's not a good film. I love Solo. I think it's an awesome, fun, feel good movie, but it just doesn't contribute enough to the plot. And obviously it's not supposed to.
yeah,
And it's not like I dislike the film. I just like other things better because they contribute a little bit more to the plot.
definitely.
A- And one thing I really like about it was Rio. I
Oh
think
yeah,
Rio for sure.
Rio's amazing.
Yeah, the whole first uh the whole like first crew
Yeah,
I thought was awesome. And again, the whole movie is just fun.
it's a fun Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
And we already went into the reasons why for Phantom Menace when we talked Attack of the Clones. So we
Yeah.
already had on that. So let's move on to the next one. Number 8. I'm gonna trigger some people. My number 8. Revenge of the Sith.
Wow. Yeah, I wasn't seeing that one. I was not seeing that one at all.
The reason why
I
I'll get into
what?
I'll get into the why. For me, 8, 7, and 6 can easily be flipped around. I just came down on Revenge of the Sith mainly because okay, the first act, Battle of Coruscant, absolutely incredible opening, amazing, one of the best Star Wars openings, hands down, bar none. And then the second act I would say is you like it just slows down a lot, and you go back to some of the problems with Phantom Menace: Attack of the Clones with the dialogue and some of the other issues. So I feel like that becomes a problem after a certain point. You get to the point where you're just like, okay, can we get to the film speed up now? And then I would say once you get to Anakin's fall, then I say the film becomes good again. Again, like I was saying, just because I have it lower on my rankings doesn't mean I like it. I was so close to getting it to 6. I like I said, 6, 7, and 8 all could easily be flipped around any day of the week. It's just how I'm feeling. For today, I'm just
Yeah.
kind of more down to Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, that's so Revenge of the Sith is not there for me. And I'm gonna talk a little bit why I dislike it here because we're talking a little bit lower, and then whenever I get to it on my list, I'm gonna say
Of
why I like
course.
it. So yeah, definitely the problems I have with it are it's jumbled.
Yeah,
I don't. Yeah, that's definitely the problem. The plot is just really all over the place,
most definitely.
and yeah, I mean, but that low,
I'm telling you, you're gonna see the other two, and you're like, oh, that makes sense. You're gonna see what
okay,
the other two are gonna make it make more sense than
yeah, yeah,
I.
Revenge.
The chat's killing me right now. Everyone's like, they're like, Hereth,
How
how
dare
dare
you?
you?
The most controversial so far. Yeah, definitely.
I know, I know. I knew I was gonna trigger some people with that one. I knew right when I put it there. I was like, here we go.
Yeah, I would just say it's definitely the plot is just jumbled. And one thing I have been noticing, so maybe if we did another ranking video or podcast in a while from now, it might be a little bit lower on my list because every time I watch it, I dislike it more.
Yeah. For me, also I would like to add as well. The only reason I really like Revenge of the Sith now is has to be Clone Wars. If so, I'm
Yeah,
thinking this just the movies by themselves. If I had Clone Wars in there, the ranking would obviously change. But this is just the movie by itself. Watching the prequel trilogy 1, 2, 3. That's how I kind of looked at
yeah,
it.
yeah,
So again, with external media, everything could be kind of flipped around.
yeah, yeah, for sure. But like I was saying, Revenge, like every time I watch it, because whenever you're a little kid and you see it and you're like, oh my gosh, how many 3 lightsaber fights? D- like people getting burned, which scarred me as a little kid. And it's dramatic, but I think once you start to get old, I mean, I'm not talking for everyone, but I think once you start to get older,
Yeah.
I would say maybe the more flaws you see in it, and then like with the plot, and then you kind of
I wouldn't even say
dislike it
the
more.
plot. I would say it's more in the execution and the dialogue for me.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
I think score wise, okay, I'll give you this.
Oh
Revenge of
yeah.
the Sith has the best score. Like John Williams goes on
Yes.
overkill on that movie, and I
Oh yeah.
absolutely love the score in that movie. So John Williams, again, he's the consistency in all of the movies, all 9 of the movies, and then even Rogue One and Solo have great scores. So if we're just going off scores, Revenge of the Sith would be number 1. It's
Oh
for
yeah.
me, it's the dialogue and the execution that kind of do it for me. And again, you're gonna see the reason why I flip the rankings around. You'll see 7
Okay.
and 6, and you'll be like, okay, that makes sense why you have it that way.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Let's just get into it then. What is your number 7?
My number
I think we
7,
might match up. I think we might have the same one here.
Solo: A Star Wars Story.
Okay. I I have Rogue One,
Ooh, okay.
which might be an unpopular opinion. One of my friends I know Rogue One is his favorite movie, but
Yeah,
it's not that I dislike it because every one of these movies I like,
yeah.
but Rogue One, I I don't know. It's just something about it that it just rubs me the wrong way. I don't know why.
Yeah, definitely.
Because it's awesome. Like it's a great film for sure. It's I mean it's shot wonderfully.
100%.
The score's great. The ending Cedar with Vader is awesome.
Oh, yeah, definitely. The Vader's hallway
That's
scene is amazing. I watched that scene. I watched Rogue One in IMAX, and like a giant IMAX theater with like the big, like 70-foot screen. Dude, the Vader sequence in an IMAX theater. Oh my god.
oh yeah, I bet. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. So I would say that's what I like about it. What I and I don't dislike a whole lot because now we're both getting into probably the middle of our group
yeah.
because with number 7, I'd say I like the sacrifice. I like that the whole ending scene on Scarif.
Oh, the Battle of Scarab. No, the third act onwards is just absolutely
Oh yeah.
incredible.
Oh my gosh, it's the second act for me,
Yeah. For me, it's the
and a
first
little bit
act.
of the first. Yeah, yeah. That because the second act, I just feel like I don't know. It's just I just don't. I'm just not the biggest fan. But yeah, that the third act, especially when we meet Chariot in the is that I guess that'll be considered the first act. I mean, I think Chariot's awesome.
Oh, Chirrut's awesome. Like, Chirrut and Daze are awesome characters in
Yeah,
general.
yeah. And then I like all of the everything with extracting the Kyber
Oh,
from
yeah.
what planet is that?
Jeddah.
Okay, yeah, yeah, on Jeddah. And then on Jeddah,
Oh, yeah.
the ball gullet.
The Booklet!
The ball gullet.
It will tell you the truth! Sorry, I had to do it.
the ball gullet. Which does Saw have to make an appearance in every piece of Star Wars media?
I think it's a requirement in the
Literally.
the Lucasfilm canon era. Oh my god.
he just shows up.
He's just a
Like in
Booklet!
Bad Batch, he's just there.
He's just there.
Like of course, the one um the one group of rebels that they have to meet
Yeah.
is Saws.
Okay, so let's transition to our next. So for number 6, I have The Last Jedi.
Okay. Mine is The Force Awakens.
Ooh. Okay.
Why?
You'll see why later in the list.
Okay. Yeah, do you want to go first or
For me, okay, so I know a lot of people. Last Jedi is the most I've noticed. It's Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker are the most divisive films, I would say, of the saga. Those two are the films that everyone kind of is either 50-50 on. You either love it, you hate it. For me, Last Jedi kind of lands in the middle. For everything I like, there's something I dislike. Like the Luke, Rey, Ben, Kylo, or Luke, Rey, Ben, Snoke stuff. Absolutely incredible. Ryan Johnson killed the whole Octu sequence. Throne room fight. the Battle of Crate. I love that stuff. It's the resistance stuff and the Canto Bite is where I kind of just it loses it for me. So for me, I kind of have to look at like those as like split movies because like if it was just the Luke, Ray, Ben, and Snoke stuff, it would be way higher on my list. It's just the Canto Bite and the resistance stuff kind of bring it way down for me.
Yeah, yeah, and I'll talk about Last Jedi pretty soon. But yeah, I used to be one of those people, and I'll admit it right here. I would say I hate The Last Jedi, and because I didn't see it in theaters,
Okay.
like I wouldn't even I like before I even saw the film, I was like, oh my gosh, The Last Jedi is trash because of everyone I saw online.
Oh, I did that too. Okay, I
And
used to be subscribed to Geeks and Gamers for the longest time. And I used to do that
yeah,
stuff too. It was the most annoying thing. Be like, "Oh, I hate the Last Jedi. It's a garbage movie." And when reality, again, I let that happen to me too. So it used to be like near the bottom of my list for the longest time, but through TikTok and stuff and rewatching the movie with the community, it shot up by like 4 or 5 slots.
yeah, yeah. I used to be my dead last for sure, and I was like, maybe before I bash in this movie, maybe I should actually watch it.
That made me
And then
help
I
a little bit.
watched it. Yeah, 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 for sure. And then I watch it. I'm like, oh, this isn't as bad as everyone's talking about. And so yeah, it wasn't as bad. And then so they probably shut up a few slots. And let's just get into our number five because my number five is The Last Jedi, so I might as well.
My number 5 is Rogue One.
Okay, so can I keep talking about Last Jedi?
100%.
Yeah. So then I watch it. So I watch it and I'm like, okay, this isn't as bad as I remember it. I then watched it for a second time. I remember with my dad outside, so we have like a projector outside. I'm like, and he's like, yeah, I'm watching Star Wars. I'm like, oh, what movie? He's like, The Last Jedi. And I was like, oh, I guess I'll watch it. I watch it again. I'm like, okay, this isn't nearly as bad as I remember. And then, and then I, and then I join all these Discord servers and listen to people like Choco and Element talk about it and JKev talk about it. And now I'm like, this film is actually pretty good and is in my top 5.
Yeah, definitely. Like, right. I feel like Ryan Johnson for sure took a lot of risk with Last Jedi. Like, he really, like, he. I know a lot of people use the quote a lot, but Ryan Johnson was so focused when he was writing this movie. Kind of like what the Acolyte is. It's like, I don't want to write a good Star Wars movie. I just want to write a good movie. That was his, like,
Yeah.
main focus. So you could tell Ryan Johnson took a lot of risks. Because, like, the Star Wars Last Jedi 100% breaks the formula of what the main saga movies are. Because there was, The Force Awakens put it in a formula, and Last Jedi said, no, we're going to do it. We're going to make it different. We're going to go on a completely different path. So, yeah, so that's what I like about Last Jedi. Because it was like, no, we're not going to follow into the same Star Wars saga formula. We're gonna take it in a completely different direction.
Yeah. And hey, X-Core, what's going on? Thanks for coming, man.
X-Core.
Yeah, the throne room is crazy.
Throne room is amazing.
Which gets hate because of like Rey kicking 3 people.
Oh no, I've also seen the
no.
disappearing dagger. Okay, I'll say this about any Star Wars fight. I can poke holes in any Star Wars choreography if I really wanted to. Any
For
of
sure.
them. Revenge of the Sith, there's
Easily.
in the Battle of Mustafar, Anakin and Obi-Wan completely switch lightsabers at one point in the fight. You can totally see it.
Grievous switches lightsabers.
Oh no,
Like-
he has Anakin's lightsaber and it's green, and then in the next shot he has Obi-Wan's also green. They just took the 3D
Yeah.
model of Anakin and Obi-Wan's lightsaber and just gave it to Grievous. I hope
Yeah,
no
it's
one would
like-
notice.
Like if you're gonna pick little things out of out of fights, then do it for all the films, not just do it for The Last Jedi.
Exactly.
And then one of my favorite scenes in all of Star Wars is Battle of Crate,
Oh, Battle of Crate's amazing.
because it's like, I don't even know how to describe it. With Luke and Kylo, it's so good, and it brings Luke character arc, and let me stress that arc, from the beginning of the movie to the end, because I don't think a lot of people, or they see Luke throw the lightsaber behind his back and they're done.
Yeah.
And you lost half of your audience because Luke threw the lightsaber.
Definitely.
People then tune out the rest of the movie when it's a character arc. It's not like
Exactly.
he doesn't die like that.
Yeah, he
So,
learns and grows. Like the greatest teacher failure is seen as amazing.
oh my gosh, yeah, that scene is incredible. That is top tier
Definitely.
Yoda teachings.
Best
So,
Yoda scene since Empire.
yes. Oh my gosh, easily. And it's just I know it's just crazy to me that people just nitpick it so much and they don't look at the overall film. And speaking of like lessons, the lessons that Luke teaches Rey is incredible.
Yeah, it's just because people are like get on like oh, Luke wanting to end the Jedi Order, but if you look at what he's saying, is he's not wrong. It's like the prequel era, like he's comparing the prequel era of Jedi about how they failed Anakin and how he failed Ben, and he's just taking his failures and like amplifying it to 11. And yeah, I completely agree with Luke in the scene because I feel like he does a really good like breakdown of the prequel era Jedi and like what their flaws were.
Yeah. Yeah.
Obviously
For
his like
sure.
him wanting to end the Jedi is wrong, but like his perspective of the Jedi themselves is not wrong. That's how I kind of look at it.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's kind of how I see it too. What's the word he uses to describe the Jedi? Can't think of it.
The legacy of the Jedi is failure.
No, he uses a word to describe. Maybe something the chat could help out. It's um he he uses a it's a really good word to help describe
X score
the
you
Jedi.
X score you completely
X
nailed it.
score.
There's okay, so my monitor's kind of far away. There's people that hate the sequels so badly they said the fights had to work around Daisy because she's a bad stage. Though no, that's not completely. Dude, have they even seen the behind the scenes documentary? Yeah, I hate those fans because they're like, because if you look at the behind the scenes documentary for Last Jedi, Daisy Ridley and Adam Driver completely worked insanely to get the throne room fight to the point where it was amazing.
Yeah. And then the interview. The
Oh,
the Mark Hamill interview where apparently he hates the Last Jedi when if you watch that interview clip literally 5 seconds longer, you would see that he is like, yeah, but now I like it.
it was literally like he's like I think I remember I think the original interview clip was I just liked it when I originally read the script and acted it out, but once I saw the film I started to like it. And people just cut out well once I saw the movie in theater I started to like it.
And then use that as, oh my gosh, Mark Hamill hates the Last Jedi. Like, no, he doesn't. And even if Mark Hamill did hate it, that doesn't mean that
Yeah,
people can't like it.
exactly.
Which, yeah, exactly. Kieran said it. People
Definitely.
go out of their way to hate,
Definitely.
for
So
sure.
let's move on to number 4.
Yep. Let's
My
move
num-
on.
my number 4 is Return of the Jedi. I know, I know,
Man.
I know my list. I know our lists are way
Um.
different.
So, my. Before I get into mine, let's just talk Return of the Jedi.
Return of the Jedi. I gotta say, for the longest time as a kid, this was my favorite Star Wars movie. Like, from like as a kid to like 13, this was my favorite of the saga. And I love the Jabba's palace sequence opening. Even though the plan makes absolutely no sense, it's incredible. The third act with the battle of the second Death Star with Luke versus Vader and Palpatine, and then going into Endor and like trying to blow up the base of the squad above can go in and like blow up the Death Star. I love the third act. I love the first act. It's just the second act with the Ewoks. It's just it goes to such a slow. It's just like can we get going now, movie? It's just like it's just the movie just goes to like such a slow halt when you get to that sequence. So yeah, that's why I have it at number 4. If it was just, it's just the second act for me that kind of just puts it at 4. It's still a really amazing Star Wars movie. The Emperor stuff is absolutely incredible.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, and Scholar. Yeah, Disney for sure paid off Mark Hamill to to say good things about the
Oh god, I remember those YouTube comments. Oh my god.
film. um, but yeah, again, yeah, the Jabba's palace scene is like it doesn't make any sense,
No, it doesn't. Like,
but it's fun and it's Star Wars
yeah, I
and
remember.
Jedi rocks.
Oh my god, Lapti Neck is so much better for that scene. If you've seen the original version of Return of the Jedi, Lapti Neck
Yeah.
is way better as a song. But
Mhm.
but I will say, I had this debate many times. Victory Celebration is a better song than Yub Nub. Come at me.
Easily. And I know X Core in the chat. I'm pretty sure
X Core's freaking out because he said
loves Yub Nub.
Return of the Jedi at number one.
But yeah,
Yeah.
because so the Jabba palace scene, he's like, all right, R2, I'm gonna give you my lightsaber. You're gonna get captured, and then Han and Chewie are also gonna get captured. You're not gonna try to free them. You're just gonna try to get captured, and then I'm gonna come in. Then I'm gonna get caught, and then we're gonna almost die. Then you're gonna shoot the lightsaber out at me. And I can just imagine R2 this whole time, who's just sitting there like,
R2's like, what?
okay. He's like, okay. Witnesses like droids getting destroyed in Jabba's palace.
Hey, C-3PO is going through the ringer in Jabba's palace. He has to deal with translating Jabba every 5 seconds, and he had to watch another droid die.
The one little, this is like the one scene I remember is like the Gonk droid who's flipped. I'm pretty sure it's in Jabba's palace, who keeps getting like steamed. He's like,
Yeah. Oh, the droid that's getting pulled apart as well. The Gonk droid that's
Yeah.
getting stomped on, and then the other droid that gets its arm ripped off.
and then R2 is just like,
Cool. And C-3PO's like, ah!
He's like, oh crap. And then let's see, so then we go from Jabba's to we see Yoda's passing, which is I think amazing.
Yes, and I also did you
But-
know for that scene? Remember how Yoda says, remember Luke's like, "Is Darth Vader my father?" You know that's why that scene was included, right? That line.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
because
if you want to tell them.
because kids, when they first watched Empire Strikes Back, couldn't process the fact that Vader was Luke's father. So a therapist went to George Lucas and was like, "Hey, you need to put a scene in the movie that." But the younger fans can trust that Vader is Luke's father, so you got to put a character that everybody trusts. So Lucas is like, "Fine, we'll make it Yoda." So that's why that scene was included in the movie.
Yeah. And isn't I've heard this, I'm not sure if it's true, you could fact check me. I've heard that Yoda's blanket is Qui-Gon's robe.
I think that's a theory and that's headcanon. I don't think it's
Okay.
ever been confirmed in canon.
Yeah. That's what I thought. I wasn't completely sure. Yeah, that death, and then I think relating back to The Last Jedi, Yoda says, "When I'm gone, the Last Jedi you will be." and then The Last Jedi, Luke says, "When I'm gone," when he's on Crate, "When I'm gone." What is the quote? "When I'm gone, I won't be the Last Jedi," or something like that.
Yeah, that's the quote. And then it cuts to Rey. Oh.
Yeah. And it's crazy. Like, just that character development alone is so good. Not to talk about The Last Jedi again, but
yeah,
I think that's just something that's so good about the film is that they're relating this that happened to Yoda and that the lesson that Luke remembers to his final moments, saying completely changing on what.
Most
Yoda.
Definitely.
Yeah. And then see anything else? Battle of Endor.
Battle of Endor, absolutely incredible. One of the best battles in Star Wars.
Yeah. Yes, for sure. Victory Celebration is awesome.
Better than Yub Nub, don't at me.
Yeah, that's a bad plan, Luke. Weren't you listening? I'm gonna do a sick flip. No, Yub Nub. It's just the fact that they fly around to different planets on the galaxy, and basically see everyone in the galaxy celebrating. I think ties in wonderfly.
Definitely. So let's transition to our number 3. Wait, I didn't hear your number 4. What was it? Your number 4? I didn't hear.
Mine was A New Hope.
Oh, okay. So this is interesting. Why do you have A New Hope at number 4?
Okay, so I love A New Hope. It's one of my top movies. The reasons I'll go dislike then. The reasons I do like, I dislike it. I mean, there's nothing to dislike about the movie. It's just it's a solid movie. It got everything started.
Right.
There's not a whole lot to dislike. It's a great hero's journey.
Of course. Yeah.
I, I don't dislike it. It's just they're my top three. I just like a lot more than I than I like A New Hope. I mean,
Okay.
obviously there's some great like iconic scenes. The Death Star getting blown up is amazing. The I mean everything in A New Hope is great.
Yeah.
It's just and I'm almost regretting my number three just talking. I
Yeah.
want to move my number three down to number four and move A New Hope up because I'm just realizing how much I like it.
Yeah.
That's more.
Again, I feel like our lists are gonna change. My list changes nearly daily. There's certain movies that just constantly just flip around. So
Yeah,
this is. I remember if anyone's like here like getting mad at like my rankings. Remember, it's just how I'm feeling today, and this
yeah,
can easily change from day to day. So
yeah. That
going to my number three, I have The Force Awakens.
okay. My number three is Revenge of the Sith,
Ooh.
and I kind of want to move it to four and move A New Hope to three. Um, yeah. So, you can go first. Talk about.
So, The Force Awakens for me, it's one of those Star Wars movies that I can constantly just revisit and rewatch any day of the week. I have a lot of nostalgia for it because again, it was the first ever Star Wars movie I ever saw in theaters, so I had that nostalgia to it. I remember the ending sequence with Rey on Octu giving the lightsaber to Luke. I just remember when the credits roll, I was so excited. I was like, "What's gonna come next? Oh my god!" I remember like getting so excited, and I don't know. For me, The Force Awakens is just one of my favorite Star Wars movies. Like I could just constantly just revisit, watch it over and over and over again. It's just the Starkiller base battle with Rey and Kylo is just, oh my god, it's amazing.
Yeah, as is was me. It was my first theater experience with Star Wars, so it definitely has a little sentimental spot in my heart.
Definitely.
Um, but yeah, I mean, it's a great film for sure. Do you want to talk? Let's talk a little bit about that scene, the
Han.
Rey versus Kylo scene, because I think there's a lot of things that people don't realize about that fight
Oh,
that makes it
definitely.
hated.
People like get too obsessed with like why couldn't Kylo beat Rey, but people always forget he was shot with a bookie bowcaster. They show it 3 times in the movie before they shoot Kylo. They show it on when like Han and Kylo are escaping the Raftars and Chewie shoots or Han shoots the bowcaster and they shoot and they start flying into like in the back of the ship and Han goes and he like gives it back to Chewie. He's like that's nice and he like, shoots the controls and then he then again they show it in the Battle of Takodana when Chewie like goes over and like shoots them and like the stormtroopers like shot into the air
Yeah,
and like they
Stormtrooper
fly.
goes, "Oh my gosh!" He goes flying.
So yeah, so people like, and then they show it again the third time with Kylo getting shot in the chest. So it's like one, it's amazing that Kylo could like, just take the blast and that's a miracle within and of itself. And two, he was bleeding out of his chest. So I don't get that too. So they clearly set these boundaries that Rey could win, of course. And so I also get mad at the fact that like people were like, "Well, Rey has no training. How could you wield a lightsaber?" I'm like, bro, Rey's been living on Jakku for the last what 17 years with surviving and like scrapping stuff. They show it that she's clearly pro with a bow staff. So that also translates over to lightsaber fighting. It's just
Yes, and let me talk about that a little bit because I don't think people realize that martial arts like that skills transfer, even if they're not the same. And I'm sure Jedi Master Allen, obviously, because he's like a master swordsman, but like knows a lot about that, and he does. And just like from personal experience, so I wrestle.
yeah,
If people didn't know in the chat, and so some of my friends who wrestle, I've personally like never done this, but I have friends, many friends who wrestled who will go over to jujitsu, which is a completely different type of mixed martial art.
Okay.
And guess what? If they're a really good wrestler, odds are they might be better at jujitsu than some of the people that have been who train in jujitsu.
Yeah,
Just
it
because
definitely
of
makes
those
sense.
skills, because those skills transfer. It's not like because she is good with a or a staff that she's gonna suck with a lightsaber.
Right.
She has that movement down, and she's good with it. She's defended herself for however many years on Jakku with that thing. And Jakku is not the best planet in the world.
No, it's like the poverty
She's
place of Star Wars.
yeah, and people are like trying to do bad things with Ray. I'm sure daily, and she has to just
Yeah.
beat them up. So people saying that Ray isn't good with that, it just doesn't make sense to me. And
Yeah.
one more thing on that is, um, it's neither of them. Yeah, Kylo is a lot more experienced with like a lightsaber and stuff,
Yeah.
but neither of them have been in a all-out lightsaber battle, correct?
Well, I'm trying to think back. Well, Kylo had a duel in the Rise of Kylo Ren comics
Okay.
when he was trying to get into the Knights of Ren. That was just like his one test was defeat the remaining Jedi of the Order, and it was like 3 Jedi that escaped the temple,
Mm-hmm.
and he basically just hunted them down and killed them. But it was more of a like, it was kind of like more of like a brief, quick duel where Kylo just kind of force pushed. He killed one with them with a lightsaber and like slashed another and then pushed the other one off of the cliff. So
Okay.
it was more of like a brief like. So yes, Kylo does have some lightsaber fight training, but it's very brief. And beyond that, before that, he had very ceremonial type training, like the Jedi of the High Republic, the
Yeah.
prequel trilogy.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So like, and then like they don't have much experience.
Yeah.
So of course it's not gonna look like Revenge of the Sith,
Yeah.
where they're doing OB-Annies behind their back and then just going completely ballistic with a lightsaber. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's. Anything
Highlighting.
else you want to touch on Force Awakens?
No, I was gonna highlight some comments. Scholar says just like us, that was the first movie he saw in theaters. X-Core said the first movie he ever saw in theaters was the 1997 Star Wars: A New Hope special edition.
Oh really? That's actually pretty neat. I've heard that's a lot of people's was
Yeah.
special editions.
Pause One Podcast says The Force Awakens is a solid movie, just not its number one. That's completely understandable.
Yeah.
Uh,
At least.
so ready to move to our number two?
Yes, I am.
My number two, Episode 4, A New Hope.
That's what I figured, and my number 2 is Return of the Jedi.
So I thought we already touched on this for the most part. So
yeah, we did. Well, you could just touch a little bit why it's so special, maybe.
So for me, I love the original Star Wars. It's always just been one of those movies that I think without the original Star Wars, Hollywood would never be the same as it was. I think it really invigorated like visual effects studios and like all of that. So I love A New Hope for that, and I feel like I know a lot of people were like, "Oh, it's my least favorite because it's like the first one," or like, "Oh, it's the most boring." For me, I just love the original Star Wars, and I feel like it's just I feel like for anyone starting in the franchise, you gotta start at Episode 4. It's such a perfect introduction into the galaxy as a whole, and
Yeah, 4 is definitely the way to go.
yeah,
Like 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9.
definitely you gotta go in release order.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's perfect as a standalone film. A New Hope is amazing. And it left like there was so much in A New Hope that was builded upon just because that movie was so good.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
Even a one-liner by Obi-Wan in A New Hope talking about the Clone Wars.
Yeah,
had 3 movies and a TV series after it. Like that's genius.
it's amazing. It's just iconic.
It's iconic. Yeah, that's like the perfect word. It's iconic. There's nothing wrong with it. I don't see anything with A New Hope that I'm like, ooh, I don't like that.
I know a lot of people poke at the lightsaber fight. Oh, the reverse lightsaber fight was, but it's like the first lightsaber fight of the saga, and it's very simplistic in its nature. So I don't really have a problem with it. Also, if you literally look at the behind the scenes reel, the lightsabers were so fragile at the time that like if like they slashed any harder, it would have broke.
Yeah. Well, and plus Obi-Wan is old.
Yeah,
Vader is old
and wearing a mask.
and wearing a full-on um life suit. That's a
Yeah,
bad word to describe it, but
where
yeah,
do
it's
where do you get a better duel in Kenobi? So it's like get over it, people.
yeah. Yeah, hopefully we do, which is something I'm really excited about.
Most definitely.
Is is Kenobi, which we can talk about that a little bit later on. But yeah, I mean, from everything from "Help Me, Obi-Wan Kenobi," "You're My Only Hope,"
Oh,
to Luke blowing up the Death Star, it's just iconic
iconic. Definitely is the word I would use.
for sure.
Want to touch on
And
Return of
then
the Jedi a little bit?
yeah, and then one more thing. I know you haven't got there yet, but Lost Stars
Oh,
with all of the original trilogies, but especially with A New Hope. I mean, you're gonna love it.
okay.
It's crazy. It is crazy. And then my number 2 was Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
So the reason I've Return of the Jedi number 2, I think you had a number 4,
Yeah, I had
right?
number 4. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, the reason I put so high was I obviously like I love the Jabba's palace scene. A lot of people bash it because of that, but I really like the Jabba's palace scene. And then we get to I personally like the things with the Ewoks and how 3PO is kind of a god. I just think it's goofy and it's Star Wars.
Yeah.
And then the main reason I have it at number 2 is because of the last third of the movie.
Oh, the last third is absolutely incredible. It's,
Yeah. I feel like the last third, I think that is some of, if not the best Star Wars
oh, hands down.
out there. I mean, it's emotional. There's so much more going on inside both of their heads that we don't see on the screen. That just makes it incredible.
Yeah.
And then the sacrifice by Anakin, which a lot of people say that was ruined in Rise of Skywalker, which personally I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I think it was not not Anakin trying to fulfill his prophecy, because in that moment he's not like, all right, let's fulfill the prophecy and throw Palpatine over.
No.
No,
He's
he's
not
not
thinking that
thinking
at all.
that. He's thinking my son is on the ground. Yeah, he's thinking my son is on the ground dying right now. I need to save him, which ultimately is incredible.
Yeah. He's not even thinking about, oh, I'm gonna throw Vader and start the prophecy. No, he's thinking, that is my son. He's about to die. I'm gonna save him and right my own wrongs.
Yeah, and then it's beautiful to see. Now the no
Oh my god, that's the
is
worst special edition change by far.
yeah
George Lucas adding the no as he throws them. It's like
no
the silence works so much better with Vader just picking up the Emperor and just chucking him down the reactor shaft. It was perfect.
yeah yes. I mean, I I it's there.
Yeah,
The no is just kind of there. It makes it a little bit awkward. And question: Vader with no eyebrows or Vader with eyebrows?
Vader with no eyebrows, just because it makes more sense with the Revenge of the Sith. But I understand why
Easily.
they had eyebrows in the original version because they didn't think of that ahead.
Yeah,
So it makes sense.
yeah. Now, wasn't it always a idea that he was burned?
Uh, yes, for the most part. I've heard conflicting stories from different producers, but Lucas said when he was first originally thinking of Star Wars, the first thing he thought of was Anakin burning on Mustafar. That was the first thing that popped in his
Okay.
head.
Okay.
But again, I don't know how valid that is. I've heard that around from
Yeah. Yeah.
different like creators.
Yeah. That's just like another theory, like Yoda's death. It's just kind of, or meant Qui-Gon's blanket and Yoda's death.
Yeah,
Just kind of something that's been floating around. SW Scholar says, I think the effects still hold up well, but people have shown the movie to struggle to get into it because of the somewhat dated effects when you kind of didn't notice that stuff. Yeah, I personally think the effects still hold up very well.
yeah. I think A New Hope, Empire hold up really well. Return of the Jedi, I would say, is probably out of the three the most dated. Like I was watching that yesterday in the Discord server with Bale and stuff, and I noticed like you could tell when they're on the job at Stale, like there's a blue screen behind them, and like there's certain shots you can tell. But Empire Strikes Back and A New Hope do not look dated in the slightest. I think they look so good.
The one thing I could say about A New Hope is Jabba.
What you mean? Oh yeah. Oh god, the
Is
special edition change.
it's like, oh please no.
No, it's
And then
it's funny
they added
for
a few.
A New Hope and Empire and Jedi. I again since I downloaded the original version, that's the only version I watch. I don't watch the theatrical cuts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. I've only owned the special editions. I think I have the 2003 special edition. It comes with Empire of Dreams.
Oh yeah. You have the you have
So
the 2004.
whatever.
You have the 2004 version, yeah.
Yeah, which I just noticed that because I was cleaning out something and my dad was like, "Hey, go put this in our where like we keep all of our movies." And I looked and it was like Empire of Dreams. I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna need to revisit this one of these days because I've never seen Empire of Dreams."
Yeah, it's a really cool documentary. I
Oh wait, is Empire of Dreams on Disney Plus? I think I did watch it actually.
Yeah, it's on Disney Plus. It's
Yeah,
one of the
I did
special
watch
like
it.
crossover. Yeah,
Mhm.
I owned the 2006 limited edition DVDs, which was on one side you had the 2004 special editions, and then on the other side, as a bonus disc, you had the original versions.
No kidding.
It was a really bad restoration because they just took the laser disc and just put it on DVD. They didn't try anything to like up to the picture quality or anything, so it just looks so bad. But they
Yeah,
gave
but
it's an official version.
no kidding.
So for people that really want to watch those original like 1970, 1980, and 1983 versions, look up 4K 77 or 4K 80 and 4K 83. It's just the dates of the films when they came out. A fan found like really old 35 millimeter prints of like what they showed in theaters, and someone scanned it in at 4K, and you can find it online. So
Really?
yeah, and they look better than the Disney Plus versions that Disney put out. It's incredible.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I'll have to check that out myself. X Core says they didn't use blue screens in A New Hope or Empire Strikes Back. It was something they did new for Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, it was for
Huh.
Jabba sail barge and then the bike sequence.
Yeah. Can not to backtrack, but can we talk about A New Hope and how they did their special effects? Because I think it's really interesting. It's something that like intrigues me a lot.
Yeah.
Is the way that they didn't use green screen.
No. It's
I forget what was the technique called.
So what they did is they had a miniature like on a ship, and then they had it programmed on a camera like how like with the speed and velocity they go by, because they couldn't move the ship, so they would move the camera to like emulate the ship's movement. And then they would put a blue screen behind it for the ship's shot. And then what they would do is they would take the film reel that they shot, because it was all shot in film, and they would give it to somebody else, and they had to cut out the film of just the ship, and they had to like cut it into the other part of the film and mask it in.
Which, I mean, that's crazy.
It's like insane.
It's revolutionary. That's why Star Wars is so awesome.
Yeah.
Because no one would have done that.
Yeah.
No one did do that. That's why it's so crazy. So Scholar says he actually has the same cuts as you do on.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I've never heard of that, or I never heard that on one side they have the special edition, on the other side they have the theatrical cuts. That's pretty cool.
Because fans were demanding it at the time, so Lucas gave in.
Okay.
So
that makes sense.
So
number one,
I think we're in agreement on this. Empire Strikes Back.
Obviously, yes. And Empire and Return of the Jedi for me obviously switch back, but it's, I don't know, it's with Lost Stars, me just thinking about Empire and rewatching it.
Oh,
it's just so good.
It's a perfect movie. From the Battle of Hoth all the way to Bespin. It's just, oh.
There's no dull moments. None.
No. It's absolutely incredible. Like, it's the perfect middle chapter of any trilogy.
It ages perfectly.
Oh.
It's just perfect. the whole plot is amazing.
Yes.
There's nothing. There's literally nothing wrong with it. It is. There's nothing. There's nothing I dislike about that film.
Yeah.
It's it's so good.
It's so perfect. There's
X Core says Empire Strikes Back is overrated. I don't
I
think I've ever heard that.
I've heard people say that before. Like I know some people are like it's the obvious choice, or again just because again like this I like Empire is my favorite. The best thing about Empire is it's revealed. Yeah, I just I would say not even just the reveal at the end. I say I just not even a thing I could like pick out about Empire that I just don't like. Everything is just perfect.
Yeah, the Battle of Hoth is
Oh
extremely good, especially like Luke locked out the suspense that's building, and then you see Obi-Wan's ghost appear. It
yes,
says go to Obi-Wan on Dagobah.
you
Like that's
going to Yoda. Oh my god, it's so good.
you're like, oh, and then the suspense of who is this Yoda, and you're
Oh
wondering this. If it's your first time watching it, you're like, who the crap is Yoda? And you go, they save Luke, which
oh,
is great with Han.
it's absolutely
I thought
incredible.
I thought they smelled bad on the outside.
Iconic scene.
Iconic.
Oh
And then the Empire is creeping up on them.
yes.
First time we see these rebels start to slip a little bit, have to evacuate. And then let's talk about that maneuver by the Millennium Falcon.
Oh, hiding on a
Just
Star Destroyer. It's so
on the back,
genius.
and then just goes out with the junk.
Oh,
That's just awesome. Brian has also always said that Empire is overrated. Yeah,
uh,
I would definitely agree that maybe as a standalone film, it it wouldn't be as good. Just because I think A New Hope is probably the best standalone
oh,
film in the saga.
definitely.
But I think that's what makes it amazing is that it leaves you on the edge of your seat.
It just
Like
makes
you
you.
finish Empire and you're like, what just happened?
Oh, like any chapter in the middle trilogy, it makes you want to start the next movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And it's like the perfect middle trilogy.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
without Empire and without Luke, I am your father.
There would be
I
no
guess
Star
it's
Wars.
no. Yeah, there'd be no
Well,
Star Wars.
there'd be Star Wars. It would just be one movie.
Yeah,
It wouldn't.
it's
It wouldn't be as big as it is now.
it's so good. And the battle or the lightsaber fight on
Oh
Bespin is so good, and the the arc that you get from Anakin, because like every big part of Anakin's journey comes from a bridge.
yes.
And as they're crossing that bridge, you see Anakin
Oh
like just he's like join me. And I think one of the lines that is really interesting is um oh my gosh, why is it slipping my mind? Hold on. I'll come back to it. I'll
no.
come back to it.
Yeah, going back on your point, but the battle between Luke and Vader in Cloud City, it isn't my favorite lightsaber fight of the saga. I would say my favorite lightsaber fight of the whole saga is Luke versus Vader in Return of the Jedi. I think that's my favorite. But
Yeah.
it's Luke versus Vader Empire is probably my second favorite of the whole saga fights. But
That's definitely the same with me.
I absolutely love the start. I love how Vader is just toying with Luke that whole fight. He's just like Luke is so inexperienced, and Vader's just like beating him with like one hand. It's just and then like
Yeah.
Luke keeps surprising Vader with like when he pushes him into the carbonite freezing chamber, and Luke just jumps out. Like Vader was kind of surprised that he was able to do that. Just
Yeah.
those little touches, and like right when like Vader or Luke pushes Vader out the window, and then like Luke's like searching for Vader. You could tell Vader's like, you know what, I'm done. I'm going all out. You could tell like that was the moment when Vader was like, I'm done holding back. And you just start slashing at Luke, and you're just like, oh god.
Vader's just toying with him. He's literally using one hand for half the fight.
It's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so
Definitely.
Empire is super good. See what the chat's saying. Yeah, Dagobah. And a fun fact about Dagobah is that it's actually, I don't know if you knew this or not, it's a stage.
Oh yeah, I've heard about this.
So in order to allow Yoda to be a puppet, what they did was they to allow them to go they actually went under the stage and could reach their hand through to use Yoda as a puppet. So they
Yeah,
had to elevate Dagobah. So everything you see on Dagobah is um is on an elevated stage, which I thought was
yeah.
really interesting.
Can we say Mark Hamill? I'd say Last Jedi is his best performance, but behind Last Jedi, I would say Empire Strikes Back is Mark Hamill's best performance because if you think about it, the entire movie, he's almost by himself for nearly the whole movie. There's like the Battle of Hoth where he like reunites with like Han and stuff like right before the battle. Then you have Luke and Vader at the end, but beyond that, it's just Luke and Yoda. Luke and Yoda. It's just him by himself.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's
and
incredible.
I remembered the quote. I don't know why I forgot this. You underestimate the power of the dark side of the Force.
Ugh.
And we hear this 3 times. The first time in Empire Strikes Back, Vader's saying this, trying to be like, trying to be intimidating, trying to say like you underestimate the power of the dark side of the Force.
I love
Saying,
the opening line of the duel when Luke shows up and Vader's like, he's like, the Force is with you, Skywalker, but you're not a Jedi yet. I was just, oh, instant chills. You're like, you know, it's about to go down.
and Luke attacks first.
Yeah,
Luke, which is interesting, and it shows that Luke is not that Jedi yet.
he isn't.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me, you're not that guy.
He is not that guy.
He attacks first, thinking he's just gonna go in and destroy Vader like it's nothing. When we all know what happens. But yeah, so we hear that quote: "You underestimate the power of the dark side" 3 times. The first time is in the duel on Bespin. The second time is going up to the elevator to the shuttle to um Palpatine, which has a little bit more different meaning because he's saying it.
Yeah,
You underestimate the power of the dark side, like
yeah.
this is bad. Like you're going up to Palpatine, who you are underestimating a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and this is gonna be bad for you. And then they go up to the second Death Star, and he says it again, and it's more of a plead.
Yeah.
He's not saying it intimidating. He's saying it like you underestimate the power of the dark side. Like almost as a plead to Luke, to saying, "Come, like come,
Yeah,
like
definitely.
I want to come back." It's not.
Yeah.
See, it's trying to CGI. Yeah, Yoda is physically there.
Yeah, I know, but it was more of like, if you think about it, yes, Frank Oz was there and it was Mark Hamill, but Frank Oz was underneath the stage and he was acting to a puppet, yes. But for the most part, if you think beyond that, Mark Hamill had to make the puppet more believable than Frank Oz, because if Mark Hamill
Yeah,
didn't make it work, it wouldn't be the same as the level, because it required them both. I would say Mark Hamill more. He needed to act stronger to like make it more believable.
yeah, and of course, as Han is getting frozen in carbonite, I love you.
I know.
Which
Oh,
actually, let me bring out these. Hold on, give me 1 second. So my girlfriend just went to Disney, and
okay.
she got these pins.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. I
That is amazing.
was like, oh my gosh, those are the best pins I ever have. I've ever had.
uh,
Yeah, everything with Boba Fett, which I mean Boba's awesome. Uh, Little Boba Fett hat action going on. Everything with Boba Fett is crazy good. And then
yeah.
you leave the theater and you're like, what the heck just happened? What now?
Oh, yeah.
That
Oh my god. Yeah, Empire is just it's the
it's so good.
it's the perfect Star Wars movie in my eyes.
I might need to watch it again like soon.
Oh. So,
so so yeah, now we finished our movie rankings. Which do you want to go briefly back over yours, then I'll go back over mine.
uh
Like just list them.
yeah, sure. So, number 11 Attack of the Clones, number 10 The Rise of Skywalker, number 9 The Phantom Menace, number 8 Revenge of the Sith, number 7 Solo: A Star Wars Story, number 6 The Last Jedi, number 5 Rogue One, number 4 Return of the Jedi, number 3 The Force Awakens, number 2 A New Hope, number 1 The Empire Strikes Back.
we've agreed on one thing, and it was Empire.
Everything else,
So
everything else was like off by like one or two though.
yes, like mine was Phantom Menace, Attack the Clones. 9 was Solo. 8 was Rise of Skywalker. 7 was Rogue One. 6 was Force Awakens. 5 was The Last Jedi. 4 was A New Hope. 3 Revenge of the Sith. 2 Return of the Jedi. 1 Empire Strikes Back. So yeah, definitely
Yeah,
in like the same 3 spots for most of them.
yeah, definitely.
But that's what's awesome is that I can have my opinion and you can have your opinion, and
Yeah,
there's nothing wrong with that because we
you
both like them for different reasons.
you were still shook with the Rise of Skywalker reaction.
I was very shook at that. I still am. I just really like that film. I was actually gonna wear my Rise of Skywalker shirt, but I think it's dirty.
I was too, but so I just put on the hoodie instead.
Yeah, so Clayton asks, where do the shows fit in? And that's what I think would be a good
That would be our transition.
transition. So I was thinking with the shows, instead of doing our rankings, because there's so little of them, why don't we just talk about each of them
Yeah,
and then say what we have? So let's start off with Bad Batch,
Bad Batch,
which was my number 4.
my number 4 as well.
Okay.
I love Bad Batch so far. I know a lot of people were complaining it's the cameo fest, the show, and I'm absolutely loving it because I think it fits the era perfectly, and we're learning about how the clone army is going to get discontinued by the Empire. So I'm really excited to see how that plot finishes, and I love the dynamic of the Bad Batch and Omega. So yeah, Bad Batch is really good. It could definitely jump up in my rankings after the show is finished, but for now, it's definitely at number 4.
Yeah, and though the cameos are a lot, um, I I I love Star Wars Rebels, which we're gonna talk about in a little bit,
Yeah,
and the cameos. Oh,
Rebel
I
Season
mean,
1 was cameo fest too, though.
oh yeah. There was there were so many cameos in that season.
Oh,
There's a lot of cameos in Rebels in general, but yeah.
definitely.
But I'll talk about Rebels. Yeah, Bad Batch I think is great,
Bad Batch is
even though
amazing.
just because it's our least favorite show, which we both haven't watched Resistance, by the way, so we're not gonna rank him or
No,
do
we're not.
anything like that.
I'm not gonna give my opinion on something I haven't watched.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think Bad Batch is great.
Yeah,
There's nothing wrong with the Bad Batch. I think it's fun. I'm really eager to see if they're gonna get Crosshair back
yeah,
because we got 4 episodes left. 5 episodes left.
yeah,
He's still not close to coming back right now.
yeah. We have 4 episodes remaining, and I feel like the next episode's gonna be very much focused on Hera, and we're gonna get that arc finished. And then the last
Yeah.
two, the last two are gonna be bangers. I have a
Yeah.
feeling.
I think we're gonna see Boba.
I think there's a really good chance we'll still see Boba. I think.
Yeah, I do.
So let's transition to want to talk about the Mandalorian or want to go into Rebels?
Let's talk about Mando. So my Mando for me was number 3.
Mando's for number 3 as well. Well, we're in agreement on the shows pretty much. I feel like no, wait. I think our number 1 may be different.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so Mando's great. It's
Oh,
awesome. It's awesome.
yeah,
Everything with the Darksaber is just
it's amazing.
amazing. Ahsoka live action.
Oh, so good.
I remember, so with Clayton, who's in the chat right now, we would always stay up to watch every episode, and I think I may still have the video. So we were recording our reaction to Ahsoka, and we were just gonna record the whole episode and then see, like, whenever Ahsoka came in,
Yeah.
and whenever she came in, the first scene,
Oh,
we were like, oh, forgotten for a Star Wars movie for sure. It's crazy. It was
yeah.
crazy.
It was. I remember. It was funny. Okay, so when Ahsoka came, this might be weird to me, but I had a bigger reaction seeing Bo-Katan than Ahsoka because
Really?
because I heard Ahsoka was in the series and that got spoiled for me because someone leaked it before the season came out, so I already was suspecting
Yeah.
Ahsoka to be in the show. So when Bo-Katan flew in episode 3, I was like, "Oh my god, it's Bo-Katan!" I had a bigger reaction on that because I didn't see that one coming.
Really?
Yeah, so when Bo-Katan flew in, kicked the guy off the boat, I was like, "Oh my god, it's Bo-Katan! Holy shit!" And I was freaking out. I had a bigger reaction for that, and then I freaked out a little bit with Ahsoka because I didn't expect it to come that soon into the episode. I was like, oh my god, it's Ahsoka, but with Bo-Katan, I had the bigger reaction because I wasn't expecting it at all.
Yeah, yeah. I remember because I didn't get too hyped when Bo-Katan came in, but I was still like, holy crap,
And it's played by
Bo-Katan's
Katie.
here.
It's played by Katie Sackhoff, the same actress with the voice
Yeah,
actor. So it's
yeah,
that you had that consistency from live action to animation. It was so good.
yep. Yeah, and Mando. I mean, Mando season 1, which I almost like Mando season 1 better than season 2.
I think I like season one better than season two as well. Like season two, while incredible, Mando season one was able to stand by itself and tell the story you need to. Mando season two, while incredible and caught up normal audiences of what was going on, it was too heavy on the cameos.
I agree, and that's my one problem. That's probably why it's in like my number 3 spot, is because season 2, though it's amazing, we kind of we kind of veer away from Mando,
Yeah,
and we focus more on the Force, which I think is awesome. But when watching The Mandalorian, I'm hoping to get a lot on The Mandalorian and not on the
definitely.
Force. But it's still cool because obviously, Grogu is Force sensitive, so they have to touch on that. But next season is gonna be intense.
Yeah, next season's gonna be absolutely incredible. So yeah, I think we're in agreement with season two. I hope Mando season three goes back. It's gonna focus on Din more, and hopefully we're gonna learn more about Mandalorian culture, and we get that conclusion of the whole deal with the dark saber and who's gonna own it.
Which is gonna create a lot of tension, I think,
100%.
because Bo-Katan's like, I want that, but I know deep down I can't have it.
Yeah,
Is she gonna fight him or is she gonna ally?
I think
I
she's gonna.
don't know.
I think she's gonna be more of a mentor role in the next season, and we're
Yeah,
gonna
I
kind of like
hope so.
we get like a kind of like a darker mentor.
Yeah, I don't want to see. I don't want to see them fight.
No, definitely. I think at first they're gonna have like a bit of a disagreement about it, but I don't think they're gonna physically fight over it.
Yeah. Um, trying to think what else. Moff Gideon, I think, is a great
Moff
villain.
Gideon's
Por-
absolutely incredible. I can't wait to see what they're gonna do with
portrayed
season
perfectly.
three.
Portrayed perfectly.
Giancarlo Esposito just kills it as Moff Gideon.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yes.
god.
Well, he like they left him alive.
Yes, I'm so excited to see what they're gonna do with him in season three.
Yeah, which were like, okay, why? There's a reason they left him alive.
I
There's
feel
a reason.
oh, I feel like it's
And
gonna
he's.
be kind of like. Have you ever watched The Walking Dead?
I have not. No.
Okay, so I can't go into reason. I have a character that I feel like Moff Gideon could fit into, and I kind of have a theory of what I think is gonna happen. I think Moff Gideon's gonna get thrown in prison, and like on Mandalore or on a ship somewhere, and we're gonna get a lot of scenes of Bo-Katan like interrogating him, or like Din going in and interrogating him. So I feel like we're gonna
Yeah.
get a lot of those scenes of like of them entering the prison and like interrogating him and being like what's up.
Well, I hope we find out how he got it.
Oh
I think we'll for sure. That's probably why they left him alive.
yes.
You honestly, I think that's a really good prediction that we're gonna see interrogation scenes with everything.
Oh, it's gonna be so good. I cannot
What?
wait.
How did he get it? Mm.
I'm so excited for the next season of Mandalorian.
Yes, it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be incredible.
It's gonna be amazing.
Which maybe after season 3 it might bump, but probably not.
Yeah.
It's still amazing. And then, so do you want to move on to Clone Wars?
Clone Wars. So for me, I have Clone Wars at number one.
For me, I have Clone Wars at number 2.
So it's funny when it comes to Clone Wars, I don't view it as an overall series, even though this is a series ranking. I view it as individual arcs. Because Clone Wars is an anthology series, so I always view it as like the individual arcs that do it. So when I'm looking at Clone Wars, it's weird. I don't look at the weirder arcs, the smaller, or the better arcs. I know there's a lot of arcs like D Squad that people don't like. I know there's a couple other arcs, or like the Jar Jar arc on with Mother Talzin. People are like that was weird in Lost Missions. I don't look at those arcs. I always think about the Siege of Mandalore, Umbara, Mortis. I just think of like those type of arcs, like the banger arcs, and
Yeah.
and that always leaves my jaw dropped.
Yeah. Yeah, I love Clone Wars. I just don't like it as much as I like Rebels. But we'll get into that. But yeah, Clone Wars. I mean, it's amazing.
Definitely.
End of season 5.
Oh,
Just it's so good. It's so good.
Ahsoka leaving the
Every
Order. Oh,
Yeah, yes. So and she's just walking down the steps. You're just watching this little Padawan that you see grow up. You're like, oh my gosh, this is bullcrap.
also, I don't know if you noticed or not, but they purposely made the shot the same as Ahsoka's walking down the stairs. It's the same stairs Anakin
As
walks up for the temple in Revenge of the Sith.
Yep, yeah, and that's just incredible writing.
Oh,
And then we have everything with adding to Revenge of the Sith
oh,
with the 4-hour cut,
oh!
which is incredible.
The 4-hour cut with Siege of Mandalore is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, yeah, like your Umbara arc is incredible.
Umbara is amazing.
Now, the reason I don't, all right, the only downside for me for Rebels is you have arcs like Droid Arc.
Oh, D Squad is. I know it's the meme done arc. It's kind of it's not fun. But you gotta remember, Clone Wars is an anthology series. They're
Yeah.
throwing different types of stories to see what fits.
So I have a question for you. Whose show do you think the Clone Wars is? I would say it's Ahsoka's show.
Well, yeah, I would agree. I think it's Ahsoka and Rex show.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
really view it as like one main character because obviously it's an anthology. The arcs differ, and there's always different characters per different arc. But if I had to say there's one main character, yeah, I agree with you. It's Ahsoka.
Yeah. That's what I would.
Because
I would also agree there.
she's the one like through her character that stays throughout the entire series.
Mm-hmm. It's such a big show, and it's so hard to talk about it when we're just
Yeah.
talk like very briefly why we like it. So
I'll spoil it a little bit
Yeah.
for the audience. We're definitely gonna come back to Clone Wars later on
yes,
in the episodes.
yes,
We already have that planned out.
yeah, yeah. So we have some Clone Wars stuff coming up for you Clone Wars fans. We got a little bit of everything coming on for you guys.
Star Wars Scholar brought up Yoda season 6, the Force Ghost arc.
Yes.
That was a really underrated arc,
Yeah.
and I love that arc. And
Yeah.
Qui-Gon's voice coming back. We got Liam Neeson coming back for Qui-Gon. Oh,
When you hear his voice, you're just like, oh my god, oh my gosh.
you're just like, oh my god, it's Qui-Gon. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, Geonosis arc in season 2.
underrated.
Yeah.
The second battle of Geonosis is absolutely incredible. I absolutely
Yeah.
love that arc. Oh,
Yeah. I actually just rewatched that the other day.
underrated.
Yeah. Clovis.
Clovis. Oh my god, so good.
Yeah. The best is whenever he's like, Clovis is like, don't use any of your Jedi powers. Anakin's like, all right.
Dude, I just love how he throws away his lightsaber. Or no, Clovis is like, he's like, what are you gonna do without your Jedi toys? And Anakin's like, oh, you want a challenge? Just throws away the lightsaber and starts fist fighting him. You're like, oh damn.
It's like, oh, I messed up.
No, that scene gets so graphic. You're just like, oh my god, Clone
Yeah.
Wars. You're just like,
It's a kid show.
Like this is like the abusive parallels, like Padme screaming, like Anakin stop. Oh my god, it's just such a dark scene. You're just like, holy shit, Dave Filoni, what you went to this level of darkness for the show? Oh my god.
Well, imagine if you're Anakin. So you're Anakin in that situation. Your wife, who no one knows is your wife, is sent to basically flirt with him
Oh,
to extract information. I would be so mad.
I would be so mad, but I wouldn't punch the shit out of the guy. I think that's a little bit extreme.
Yeah. Completely get the crap out of him. Yeah. Pods One Podcast says the Citadel arc.
For me, that arc's a little bit more middle of the pack for me. Like, I love it, don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, but it took me multiple rewatches to kind of like it because the first time I couldn't really get into it.
Yeah. Mortis arc also
Oh, Mortis is
incredible,
absolutely amazing.
which we are going to be talking. Not to
Oh,
spoil, but we're
Mort-
going to be talking about some Mortis.
Mortis, when we get to Mortis, I have a lot to say.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yes, Mortis is going to be incredible. What other awesome Clone Wars arcs? I'm
I
just
gotta
trying
bring
to think.
I gotta bring up Siege of Mandalore again.
Oh yeah, Siege of yeah. We haven't even talked about Siege of Mandalore.
Siege of Mandalore. If it was a movie, it would be at number 2 in my rankings. Siege of Mandalore,
You think?
100% for me. Siege of Mandalore is by far one of my favorite Star Wars like shows, movies. It doesn't matter. Medium. It's just amazing. Oh,
Yeah.
I remember staying up till midnight every single episode that would come out. I remember watching episode 9, which was the first episode in the arc, and when you saw the instead of the Clone Wars crawl, it had the Star Wars crawl. You knew it was going down. You're like,
it was about to go down.
oh, oh. And then you
One
got
of the best scenes is Rex holding out the gun. Good soldiers follow orders. You're like, no.
that made me okay. No, that made me cry because I wasn't expecting it because Rebels makes you believe that Rex took his chip out way earlier, and then the Ahsoka novel also makes you believe that Rex already took his chip out by that point. So when that happened, I was just not ready for it. So when Ahsoka runs out the corner and Rex pulls out his gun, and starts crying, and like he's like fine fives, you're just like, no, I'm not ready for this. You can't do this to me, Filoni. God damn it.
You are breaking my heart. This is so
Oh.
bad. And then you have to find out how to escape.
Oh my
You're just like,
god.
And then let's talk about some of the war crimes that Anakin commits
Oh my god.
during the Clone Wars. During season 7, he's like, he walks out in front of all the droids. He's like, I surrender. Like, oh, okay. And then the whole file first just comes and destroys everything.
Also, I gotta bring out welcome Char Char into the chat. You got Char Char J.
Char, thanks for joining, man. Appreciate it.
Sorry, I had to cut you off there. But going back, Anakin does a lot of war crimes in the Clone Wars in general. It's just season 7, he had the surrender scene. Then in season 7, and the Bad Batch arc, you had him kill.
Yes.
Why am I forgetting? Oh, Admiral Trench in that scene, and where you had a little bit of a dark side scene where Anakin just like the door opening with him anonymous, like holding the lightsaber. Just it's so terrifying. And then season 6, we obviously mentioned the him beating Clovis up. Season 5, you had the Anakin versus Barriss. There's a lot of we can go over a lot of stuff with Anakin Darkseid, which I'll have to say for later on.
I think last thing we should probably touch with Clone Wars is Maul.
Oh, because Maul in Phantom Menace was not even a good villain. I'll argue that. Clone Wars has 100% like took him to another level, and it's just he is absolutely incredible. I compare Maul in Siege of Mandalore to the Joker in Dark Knight because his whole goal is just trying to screw over Palpatine. Like his whole plan of like trying to get Anakin and Obi-Wan to show up so Maul could kill Anakin and just rob Palpatine of his grand plan. It's just it's so brilliant.
It's insane. The way he survives by thriving on pure hatred of Obi-Wan.
It's so good.
It's crazy. And then what I think is really funny is, so him and Savage are just basically just running through the galaxy, thinking that they are the shit.
And then Palpatine shows up. It's just like, yeah, you think you're all this?
Yeah. Palpatine's just like, all right, stop. Which is a great duel. Insane duel.
One of the best duels in Clone Wars.
Oh yeah, one of the best duels. That's one of the best duels in Star Wars. It's underrated for sure.
That was the first time I ever saw Palpatine, and then like, holy shit, that is the Emperor
with 2 lightsabers.
Oh, that's so good.
Which I saw this thing with Palpatine's lightsaber. So, 2 lightsabers, and it's quite obvious. Like looking back on it, before that, you're like, wait, I didn't know he had 2 lightsabers. Well, in Revenge of the Sith, he loses one when his arm gets cut off. And he comes back with another one against Yoda, so...
Yeah, he had 2.
Yeah. So, Clone Wars is so good. I'm happy they bought Maul back.
Bringing Maul back was absolutely... I know Clone Wars in the last couple seasons... Well, I'm talking season 5, season 6. They know the series was going to get canceled, so they just went all out in the last 2 seasons, like season 5, season 6, and then they brought it back for another season for the Siege of Mandalore and Bad Batch. But
wasn't Filoni just like, all right, bring back Maul?
Bring back, yeah, no, it was Lucas's idea because Lucas was like, hey, Darth Maul, we should bring him back, and Filoni's like, don't you remember you killed him? So it was actually Lucas's idea, and they looked to, I forget the legend short story, but there was a legend short story of it was like a what if story of what if Darth Maul survived, and
Okay.
he had the robot chicken legs like he did in season 4. That's where they took that design from. It was a comic. Some in the
Mm-hmm.
chat will be like, "Oh, it's this comic," but yeah, there was a Legends comic back in the day where they brought back Maul, and it was
Mm-hmm.
Obi-Wan on Tatooine versus Darth Maul, which is very similar to the duel in Rebels.
Yes. Which shall we start talking?
Rebels, for me,
My favorite thing in all of Star Wars.
it's my number 2 favorite show. I know I love Rebels. I love Rebels. Don't get me wrong. Rebels had some bangers in there. Rebels is absolutely incredible. Oh,
Rebels is my jam. I love everything about Rebels.
oh.
I don't even know where to begin. I just think it's perfect.
Rebels. I know a lot of people that are like, "Oh, Rebels sucks. Oh, Rebel this." Like, I know a lot of people that just hate Rebels for, like, I don't get it. Okay, I don't understand. I used to get some of the criticism, like people used to say, "Oh, Rebels had a lot of filler episodes," but like Clone Wars also had a lot of filler episodes. Bad Batch also had a lot of filler episodes. Mando had a couple filler episodes. You can't use that against Rebels. I also think people are like,
Yeah.
"Oh, Rebels was very kiddie. Clone Wars is also very kiddie. Bad Batch is also very. It's like
Yeah.
I hate like people don't have the same consistency in criticisms when it comes to Rebels and Clone Wars.
Yeah, and I will say, I think Clone Wars does, especially season 1, feels more kiddie
Yes.
than the rest. But still, it's amazing. From like, I don't know, just the first episode is so good. It's
I
so good.
I don't think I've told you this before, but Twilight of the Apprentice. I watched those 2 episodes way before I started Clone Wars, and that's what hooked me into Star Wars TV shows. I saw it on Disney XD
Really?
airing randomly on a whim. I was going through channels and I flipped through and I saw Twilight of the Apprentice Part 1 and Part 2 airing back to back, and that hooked me into Star Wars TV. Seeing Ahsoka versus Vader, I was like, oh, there's some history there. Holy shit! I want to watch Clone Wars. I want to see where does this begin with what is the story behind
Hmm.
this. So, oh,
Yeah. Yeah. Ty the Apprentice is so good. Not only do we see a battle between freaking Darth Vader and Ahsoka,
oh,
like what?
one of the
You're telling
greatest
like
duels in Star
whenever
Wars.
if I have someone that doesn't like Rebels, what I do is I'm like, okay, let's watch 2 episodes. And they're like, okay. I'm like, I sit them down. I'll show them Try the Apprentice 1 and 2, and after that they're like, holy crap,
I
I
think
need to watch the rest of this.
I'm gonna be unpopular. Twilight of the Apprentice Part 1 and Part 2, I think is Dave Filoni's best work to date.
Yeah, yeah, I would have to agree for sure.
I know a lot of people say Siege of Mandalore. Siege of Mandalore is amazing, but that ending of Twilight of the Apprentice Part 2, oh my god, it hits me every single time when when Kane comes off the ship and he's blind, and like Rex looking at Ezra and like thinking that Ahsoka is dead. It's just, oh, it hurts.
It hurts, but it's so very good. So
Oh,
and then we see Maul, who's just down there.
oh.
He's just chilling on Malachor 5.
Maul has just been there for, how long? Did they ever say how long Maul was uh, on Malachor? Or I forget. Did they ever
I
give a
don't
date?
know. I don't know. Did they ever give a date?
I don't think they do, but I know. I'm kind of, that's one aspect of Maul's story that I'm excited to see if they ever touch back on again. Is how did he lose Crimson Dawn?
Yeah, and yeah, I hope they do touch on that. Which maybe in like Solo 2, but it's probably not gonna happen. Maybe Solo 2 as a book would be like the best.
Or a Disney Plus series. We're getting Lando, and
Yeah.
so maybe we'll get a Disney Plus series. Or this is what I've been thinking as well. Maybe Fallen Order 2 will touch on that. Maybe Cal Kestis is the one that
Yeah.
stripped it apart, and then the Empire comes in and just takes the rest of them out.
That would be interesting. That would actually be really interesting. I was even thinking about um um Cal Kestis being the one to take down Crimson Dawn. That's actually that's a good theory.
Yeah.
Um yeah, back to Rebels. So Try the Apprentice, amazing.
Oh, Twin
Yeah, let's
Sons. Oh, Twin
Twin
Sons.
Sons. Yeah, let's talk about Twin Sons.
Twin Sons
So
is
the whole season 3,
oh
or yeah, season 3, Maul is basically he's just like, imagine being Kanan. I would be so annoyed if I was Kanan in season 3 when Maul's like, "You mean our apprentice?"
I love that.
Like,
It just always cracks me up. And Cannon's like, really?
it's like, yeah, yeah. You see, Maul, like, the whole season is just being just a little piece of crap.
Maul's old master is such a troll, and I love it.
Yes, it's such a troll.
I love it. I'm here for it.
And then they put together the two. My God, why am I blanking?
The two holocrons.
Yeah.
And Maul being like
Yeah.
asking about Kenobi if he lives is one of the best scenes with Maul, and he's like freaking out and screaming. It's just
Yes. It's that whole scene is underrated
oh
for in general. And then he gets to Tatooine and the iconic Kenobi.
the Kenobi scream is so good. Twin Sons, that lightsaber duel in general, I'll say it right now, if we're including animation and live action, is by far my favorite lightsaber duel in all of Star Wars.
Really? See, I wouldn't say it's my favorite. I think it's the deepest and for sure one of the best.
I just love how it's more like a Western cowboy like draw more than a lightsaber fight. That's what I love about it.
Yeah, and you see Obi-Wan take his normal stance at the beginning.
Oh.
And then you see him take Qui-Gon's stance, baiting Maul into thinking that he's gonna kill Obi-Wan the exact way he just killed Qui-Gon.
Well, no, he goes Clone Wars Obi-Wan, Alec Guinness Obi-Wan, A New Hope,
yes.
and then Qui-Gon stance.
And then Qui-Gon. Yeah, you're right, yeah.
And then Maul, thinking in a chess move, goes, okay, I know how to beat him, and like he goes into his Phantom Menace stance.
And the exact same thing, tries to bump up his arms, and that's when Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
And that's when Obi-Wan comes down and flashes him.
It's so perfect.
I could talk about the Darksaber in Rebels is so good.
The Mandalorian. I mean, we get the most amount of Mandalorian culture in Rebels out of anything so far. And then season 4. Okay, season 4 was a banger. We have the introduction with return of Bo-Katan and Sabine with her using the weapon against the Mandalorians,
which is crazy.
And then you get
that whole sequence of her stealing the Darksaber back. Incredible.
And then like you get a little bit of Revenge of the Sith now with her like holding the lightsaber over her two hands, over Gar Saxon's neck. Oh my God.
Yeah.
And then we get the most depressing part of Rebels, Kanan's death. Then
which
it just hurts every single time.
That whole sequence, which I mean, we could talk about Rebels forever.
We could talk about Rebels forever
because there's so much good stuff. But
and then we get the World Between Worlds.
World Between Worlds, incredible. We see Palpatine with his illusions. So good. And then of course, the cliffhanger. Where is it going to go next?
Where's Ezra?
Yeah. Where is he? He needs to come home. I need Ezra home now.
I have a feeling the Ahsoka series has just become the Rebels sequel. I think they were going to do an animated series, but they just moved it to Ahsoka.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I think they had the sequel done. Right? They just didn't release it.
No, I think they started production on it, and then they were like, why don't we just move this over to Ahsoka because the stories are very similar.
Makes sense. I mean, that makes sense. What are your opinions on Thrawn's deception in Rebels compared to the books? I have not read the Thrawn books.
I haven't read the Thrawn books. So I've been talking to a couple people on Discord. When I go through and do my rewatch of Rebels, I'm going to start the Thrawn books alongside it because Kieran has given me the order and how you can watch the show with the books. Mm-hmm. So I know how to.
Kieran is the master of Thrawn. Kieran is still here.
If you're here, you're the Thrawn master.
Yes.
Rebel. Like I said, we could talk about Rebels all day.
Forever. Yes.
Rebels is absolutely incredible, and I'm so excited where they're going to take it next with the Ahsoka series and how they're going to
Yeah.
finish the story of Ezra and Sabine and Ahsoka, and we hope we get a Ghost Crew reunion with Hera. And
I don't think we will.
you don't think we'll ever see Hera
I
again?
think Zeb and Callus are too far.
Zeb Cat.
Unfortunately.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever they're doing on that moon.
They're getting down for real.
Yeah. Yeah. There's just so much gold in that series that is so. I mean, Ezra's. I think the thing I like most about Rebels is the character development
Yes.
and the family.
Oh, Found Family is
the
so good.
The character development from Ezra is some of the best in Star Wars, if we're being quite honest. It is. I mean, Ezra's my favorite character.
100%.
And him coming from being this little, like just this kid that has nothing. He has no family. He knows nothing of the Force. He's just a scavenger. He is. He's not good. He's stealing.
Yeah.
To meeting the Ghost Crew, learning about the Force, becoming a Jedi, and his journey, losing his master, and then ultimately risking his life for the Ghost Crew. I mean, that just gives me chills. This just gives me chills. It's so good.
I also want to bring up in that final arc of Ezra just kind of accepting his own family. I also love the sequence of Ezra being tempted with his old family with Palpatine and the hologram. And as Palpatine's like, you could go through there and have your life back, as is. I love that sequence so much.
To see your family, yes.
I know Lucas has talked about Palpatine.
And he almost does.
Palpatine being like the allegory for the devil, and you can kind of see it in that sequence the most. He's like the devil on his shoulder, tapping him with the dark side.
Yeah, and so. I have to pause the stream real quick. My phone's about to die, so I'm going to switch over to my laptop.
Oh, no, you're good.
Really quick. It'll only take like 5 seconds.
No, you're good. I'll just entertain the chat, even though the boxes are messed up. Oh, and the boxes have... as soon as you turn on your webcam, the box should be flipped back. And we're... Oh, I need to go into
Discord. We're good?
I need to go into Discord and flip your camera back on, because I don't know why my camera doesn't flip on it.
I'm also hearing an echo. I'm sorry, guys. On YouTube, my phone has like 5%.
No, you're good. It happens. So, yeah, going back to the Palpatine's deception with Ezra, I thought that was really good. And I love how Palpatine comes out in the hologram of his Revenge of the Sith before getting his lightning shocked off look. And then right as Ezra doesn't fall for it, you see it flip to that Palpatine,
which is crazy. And then the World Between Worlds, it just opens up so much
lore. I can't wait to talk about that on the Mortis episode later on down the line.
I'm hearing an echo. Oh my gosh.
There is an echo on my end, so we're good on that. I hear it faintly.
So yeah, with World Between Worlds, we see a lot of... I think we're going to see a lot of World Between Worlds in the Ahsoka series.
Yeah.
For sure. I mean, it's in the background logo.
Yeah, definitely.
In Ahsoka.
So I can't wait to see how that's continued in Ahsoka. So, do you want to transition to our overall rankings, series included?
Yeah. So, yeah, if you want to go first?
So, 14, I have Attack of the Clones. 13, I have The Rise of Skywalker. 12, I have The Phantom Menace. Okay, so 12, Phantom Menace. 11, I got Revenge of the Sith. 10th, I got Solo. 9th, I got Last Jedi. 5th, I got Rogue One. 4th, I got The Mandalorian. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry, I haven't written this out. Sorry. So
yeah.
So Attack of the Clones, Rise of Skywalker, Phantom Menace, Revenge of the Sith, Solo, Last Jedi, Rogue One, The Mandalorian, Return of the Jedi, The Force Awakens, Rebels, A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Clone Wars.
Solid. So I got So it'd be 14, or would it be 15? I didn't write that down.
It's 14.
Yeah, 14. So 14, I would have Phantom Menace. 10, Attack the Clones. Um, oh my gosh, I'm losing count. 11, Bad Batch. 10, 10 Solo. 9, I feel like I'm butchering this.
Just don't worry about don't worry about the numbers. Just listen
Okay.
out in order.
Phantom Menace, Attack the Clones, Bad Batch, Solo, Rise of Skywalker, Mando, Rogue One, Force Awakens, Last Jedi, Clone Wars, Revenge of the Sith. Actually, Revenge of the Sith, Clone Wars, Return of the Jedi, Empire Strikes Back, Rebels.
So there's
And
our
that's just clearly my favorites because I do think Empire Strikes Back is like better than Rebels,
yeah.
but Rebels is just my it's just my
You can
favorite.
get so many more
For
character
sure.
development out of the series than you could ever could with a movie.
Yeah, and that's one thing that a lot of people overlook is people will just watch the movies, and
Yeah.
which I mean that's completely fine to just watch the movies, but the you learn so much about characters and get more character development in these shows, and I think that's a great bridge to another segment we're going to go to, which is our favorite upcoming projects.
Okay.
So if you want to go over your favorite upcoming projects, maybe let's do top three.
Okay. So for me, my top three is Kenobi, The Acolyte, Ahsoka.
I that's also my that's also my top three.
I am so excited for The Acolyte. Just because the High Republic books have been so good that it's getting me even more excited for The Acolyte because The Acolyte has so much potential to be such a good series as a whole.
Yeah, yeah, that's one thing that I'm super excited for. Now I haven't read the High Republic stuff, but that's I mean that's something I'm getting to
Oh,
hopefully next week.
so good.
And from what I've heard from everyone is that it is amazing.
It's
So I'm super excited for that. And then the Acolyte exploring Sith history.
oh,
We have like nothing on Sith history.
barely to none, not in canon.
Yeah.
Oh,
So that's gonna be crazy. And then there was everyone was upset with the Acolyte because
oh,
someone never saw Star Wars that was producing it.
that was such a dumb criticism and complaint. They're like, because I know this has been talked about a lot, so I know probably the audience is getting bored by this, but
Yeah.
I hate how people were like, "Oh, just because there's a writer on Star Wars or on Acolyte who's never seen Star Wars." I'm like, it completely makes sense from a writing perspective. If you want the story to make sense, it's like if you're writing something, you give it to somebody that's never or is not familiar with the genre or not familiar with anything of that, so they could get the core aspects of the story. Because if you have the core aspects of the story, everyone will follow it pretty much. Because you can get lost easily in the tracks of like, oh, we got to make this fit in the canon, we got to get into the lore right.
Fan theory stuff.
Yeah,
But meant fan servicey type stuff, which or of the person who I don't know their name,
yeah,
but I'm sure it's it's a big deal.
it's not a big deal.
Also, X Core, thank you so much for coming, man. We really support it, and thanks for being active in the chat.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
yeah, thanks for coming, X Core. But yeah, Kenobi
Kenobi.
series.
Oh, Kenobi's gonna be so good. Oh my
Oh my
god.
gosh.
Oh, it's gonna make it's. I hope we go more to Obi-Wan's like state of mind during this point in time. I hope we. I'm excited to see the second duel between Obi-Wan and Vader. I'm so excited. Hopefully we get Liam Neeson as Qui-Gon Jinn back. I hope. I hope we do. He
He
has to be there.
he has to be. Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be really emotional. It's gonna break my heart.
I hope we get the one scene where I forget what I think it's either a comic or a book in Legends, No, it's in the Obi-Wan book, that the Legends Obi-Wan book, where he visits Shmi's grave and apologizes.
That's in Ahsoka. It's in a canon book.
Oh,
It's
I thought it was in the Obi-Wan. Yeah,
it,
I mean, if we get that, tears.
yeah. It's. I remember reading that. It's like an interlude chapter in Ahsoka. It's so good. I was not ready for it, and hearing Obi-Wan apologize to Shmi Skywalker about everything, it breaks my heart.
Oh, like I'm gonna cry for sure.
Oh.
Uh,
And then we already talked about how excited we are for Ahsoka. Why I say Soki? Ahsoka.
Ahsoki.
I did it
Ahsoki.
again. Okay.
I'm super
Ahsoka.
excited for Ahsoki.
Ahsoki, the Star Wars story. Okay. Yeah. We already talked about in depthly about what we hope for Ahsoka being the Rebel sequel. So I'm really excited for that, and I cannot wait for Ahsoka. A lot of just because we haven't mentioned the other Disney Plus series doesn't mean we're not as excited. These are just our like those shows that are like getting us the most hype for Disney Plus. Oh,
I think the Lando show could be interesting if they do explore everything with Maul.
yes, and Kira, I want to see Kira again. I know spoilers for
Yeah.
anyone that's reading the War of the Bounty Hunter comics. She's popping up in there between Empire and Jedi, so I'm really excited to see what Kira was doing before the original trilogy. So I'm really excited to see where she was after Solo.
It's the best time to be a Star Wars fan right now.
Absolutely. Star Wars is in a golden era.
Like it is the best time, and if you're seeing a lot of toxicity, just ignore it. Just
Yeah.
enjoy the stuff. Because I guarantee me and you are both not going to enjoy everything that we see
No.
that's releasing. But it
Well,
doesn't mean that we have to go out and bash everything.
no, we're getting so much new content that so yeah, I'm so excited because even if like something comes out on my like you said, I'm kind of Anna. I'm just gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna get excited for the next thing. I'm not gonna like obsess over it. Like, oh, this is the worst thing since blah blah blah, or Kathleen Kennedy ruins. I'm not gonna be like that. Like, no, there's so much new content that I'll find something new that I'll be equally excited about.
And it's the best time to be a Star Wars fan.
It's absolutely the best time to be a Star Wars fan.
Let's see the chat. Epic for sure.
Oh,
In the opening scene, I think he's referring to the Shmi
yeah.
grave. If that was the opening scene,
Oh,
that would be
that's the opening scene. It's gonna break my heart.
yes.
Oh,
Oh, just like give me thinking about it. What
yeah.
about Rangers of the New Republic? What are we gonna do with that? And same with Marvel.
So with Rangers of the New Republic, I heard it got pushed. It didn't get delayed, but I heard it's not their most priority show. So I know that it's gonna come out probably last of all the Disney Plus shows they announced.
Which I hope, me being the big Rebels fan I am, Hera is the main
Oh,
or protagonist.
I would absolutely love Hera to be the main character and Rangers of the New Republic. But again, like I said, it's probably not gonna come out until 2024, 2025. So it's kind of pushed off to last in their order of
Yeah.
priorities.
And we also have the Ryan Johnson trilogy that's been rumored to come and show.
I have no idea. I'm really excited to see what the Ryan Johnson trilogy is because we have no idea what era it's going to take place in. I know a lot of people are going to get really obsessive over that because they're going to be like, it's like I know it's going to get a bunch of hate instantly because of the response to Last Jedi.
Sure. And Ryan Johnson is amazing.
Ryan Johnson is an amazing filmmaker, so having him do whatever he wants is going to be a really incredible trilogy.
He had a lot of precedents to be set before he did the Rise of Skywalker, so
Yeah,
I think him a whole 3-movie trilogy to do whatever he wants, it's gonna be incredible.
it's going to be amazing.
He said same with Marvel. I'm not a big Marvel fan.
I'm a big Marvel fan, but I'm not. Again, it's not going to be that much of a focus. I'm liking Loki right now. I think it's really good. But again, this is mainly a Star Wars show, so I'm gonna try to go back to that.
For sure. Um,
Yeah, I'm really
yeah, I mean,
excited for what's coming next. And yeah, movies and TV shows are absolutely killing it right now. The books are killing it, and the comics are killing it. Star
yeah,
Wars is just
yeah,
right now at its best.
it is a great time to be a Star Wars fan.
Yeah, ah,
And
most definitely.
maybe to wrap up the podcast, words.
Sorry, you cut out for a second.
Uh, do we got any closing words to end the podcast?
Um, I don't really have. Okay, so mainly for closing words for the podcast. Again, we have a lot of great episodes planned with a lot of amazing guests that I cannot wait to reveal when that week episode comes up. We have a lot of amazing creators that I'm excited to talk to about Star Wars and everything Star Wars. We're gonna do each week. I'm gonna reveal the topic. Again, I don't want to reveal next week's topic because it's next episode. It's gonna be absolutely amazing, and I cannot wait to talk to the guests we already have lined up for that episode. So I'm so excited for the podcast going forward. This is going to be a safe, positive platform for creators to talk anything they want Star Wars, because I've noticed Star Wars YouTube, there's a bit of a hole in Star Wars YouTube, and I definitely want to fill that hole because the Star Wars fandom right now on YouTube is so negative, and I want to kind of add that positivity to Star Wars fandom. It's fine if you dislike something, but we'll always bring on guests about something they're really excited to talk about and what they love about Star Wars.
Yeah, we have some amazing guests, like a S tier guests
Oh, some of the
coming
guests.
on this
I'm
show.
so excited for some of the guests. It's absolutely amazing. I cannot wait to see the next episodes of like our podcast. So, Carter, do you want to tell them where they can find you?
Oh, as some of you know, I am Car2D2. You can find me on TikTok. That's going to make Star Wars content right now. Yeah, thank you guys so much for coming and joining us tonight. Hereth, if you want to.
Yeah. I'll plug my stuff. So you mainly can find me on TikTok, Hereth Productions, same as YouTube. You can find me on Twitter at Hereth Edits, and same for Twitch. I don't really go live on Twitch that often, but it's there if you want to follow. For the most part, like me and Carter, my main platform is TikTok, and I am thinking about making the move over to YouTube eventually. So if you want to subscribe, there's not that much content getting put out on my YouTube channel right now. You can see some of my older content that I put out a couple years ago. But for the most part, yeah, I'm not really active on YouTube. I'm more
They
active on
fly
TikTok.
now.
If you want to subscribe
They
to,
fly now on TikTok.
yeah, we have the TikTok account where we're going to be posting highlights of this episode and the continued episodes going forward. You could subscribe to this podcast if you want to watch this every week. Like I said at the top corner, it's live every single Monday, and I also will make sure after this episode ends, I will edit this episode down and we'll upload it to anywhere you find your podcast, Spotify or Apple Music.
So, yeah, look out for it on Spotify, Apple Music. If you lose or if you can't make it to an episode, we'll be uploading on there at They Fly Now, at the They Fly Now show.
Yeah. Do we have like a send off like because I know other podcasts have like their own like send off like phrase. Do we have like our own? Is it just they fly now?
It'll be just They Fly Now. Thanks for joining.
Thanks for joining. See you guys next time.